Well, I guess I could begin with meeting, at the time, Rabbi Gadi was not a rabbi, and we began conversations with beginning to discuss. He found out I was a priest. You know, we had discussions about, right away, we went right into theology, and he said he had never met a priest before. So I said, well, I've met lots of Jews. I grew up in Long Island, so it's not something new for me. And so we began to have discussions, and it was amazing how he kind of blew up my brain and I blew up his brain with simple discussions back and forth. And he was already teaching a small group in his apartment in the city. And then I invited him to come to a model Seder that I was planning at the SUNY Old Westbury. As a chaplain over there. And so I asked him if he could host it and really guide us through. So why don't you take it from there? What happened for you?
So when I met Father Roy, I was still in business, and I was always interested in Jewish studies. I never in my wildest dreams thought to be a rabbi. And when Father Roy invited me to lead the Model Seder, I really honestly thought that if I did anything ritualistic with a Christian, it wouldn't be appropriate. So I consulted one of my rabbis, and he actually surprisingly said it would be okay. And that Model Seder really put us on the track for this past 13 years. So 2 miracles happened in this event. One, we didn't know how many people to plan, and we decided to plan for 25 people, and exactly 25 people showed. That was for me the first sign. And then the second one was going around the table, as we do normally in a Jewish Seder. Each person reads a section. And when we got to a section of the 4th child, there's the 4 children, and the 4th child is the child that does not know how to ask. He's so removed from context that he doesn't know how to even engage in a conversation. And that person actually couldn't ask. He was, at that point...
He had gone through surgery for cancer and had a laryngectomy. And so it was really amazing as I saw where it was going, and then suddenly it fell to him. And he was immediately opposite the long table from where Gotti was. And he just put his hands up and he went, ah, 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 ah. I was like, oh, wow. What an amazing moment there when he could not ask. And so I feel that was kind of a beginning of how we saw Project Genesis happening, that Christians don't know how to ask a lot to find out about our Jewish roots. I grew up in Long Island, as I said, and I've always been kind of interested in Judaism, and while I was in the seminary, I belonged to an organization called the National Conference of Christians and Jews, and we had a program called Seminarians Interacting. And what we did there is we visited each other's seminaries and went through the programs and spent days and days visiting and in these dialogues. And it was always interesting to me that in those, we had 6 little groups. They were all broken up: Catholic, Jewish, Protestant, mainline Protestant, Black Protestants, Orthodox Christians, and that's 5 of them. Anyway, and every year that I was in that 4-year program, it was interesting how the Jews and the Catholics got along pretty well, and would always stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning, having discussions and all the rest. So I've always been interested in the Jewish roots of Christianity, to understand what that is and why. Of course, obviously there's differences, with Jesus, but as the church separated from the synagogue. But that part of history is always so fascinating to me. So now, since so many times we've now done pilgrimages together, we're able to introduce other people into this wonderful communion, actually. And I really do see it as a terrible divorce that happened in the family between father and son, basically, if you want to use this analogy. And now the son has reached out after 2,000 years of being away, trying to reach out to the Father to say, wow, teach me again. Let me hear where I came from. So I see many, many Christians now, Catholic, Protestant, evangelical, all kind of like, what, tell us. There's a beautiful scripture, I had to find it for Gadi. It says, the day will come when the Gentile will grab the Jew by the coat and say, take me to Jerusalem. So I see that happening, in our day.